If we handed you a random product and social media network, could you find a market for the product and sell a bunch of them? Or what if you saw a brand new opportunity on social media? Would you know how to capitalize, or are you going to wait until somebody spoon feeds you the answer? Welcome to the Digital Marketing Misfits Show, where we, a group of experienced marketers, take on ridiculous and often hilarious marketing challenges to put our skills to the test. We also discuss current marketing events, trends we see on social media, and more. Digital Marketing Misfits is like your favorite morning radio show, except we've applied that entertaining style to the often boring subject of digital marketing. So tune in for some pure marketing mayhem as we make marketing fun again on the Digital Marketing Misfits Show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Digital Marketing Misfits Show. We're episode 41 tonight. And before we actually jump into, I think, what we wanted to talk about, we need your help to help us settle a debate. The debate question, more of those like, we have the world at our fingertips. We don't know. We can't even look it up.
No looking. No Googling.
Yeah, seriously. Jason, what were you? All right. So how are we even talking about this? This is the pre-show, by the way, or this is from the pre-show.
So I'm eating some pretzels. I'm eating some pretzels. I said, what dog do I look like? And we had Clifford. I think somebody said something else. Anyway, here's a hint. It was from the Conan show.
Oh, you looked it up, didn't you? Or did you remember?
I remembered.
You can't remember anything, Mr. COVID brain mush.
I know.
You remember this.
What was the name of that dog on the Conan show? And then follow-up question about the Muppets.
About the Muppets? So it wasn't a Muppet dog.
No, but Thad needs to know who that dog was.
Yeah, that was. I thought it was a Muppet dog. We were thinking about a bunch of different dogs. Clearly.
Yeah, there was something. He felt like I don't know.
I, to nobody's surprise, have no idea what anybody's talking about except for Clifford. So
all right, yeah. Clifford was the only dog I remember from back. Well, that McGruff, but I don't think we feel like look like McGruff, the crime dog.
It's something.
Take a bite out of crime.
Yeah, dude, there were a lot of dogs in the '90s. Like characters.
Spuds McKenzie.
What?
Spuds McKenzie.
Who was that?
Come on now.
He was the face of Bud Light. He was the Bud Light dog.
Oh, dude, I was like 6. I was not the target market.
Yeah, I don't remember Spuds McKenzie.
I was the target market for the Chihuahua from Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
My favorite commercial was when it was when Godzilla had come out. And he was like, "Uh-oh, I think I need a bigger box." Because he was out there saying, "Here, lizard, lizard, lizard." Best commercial. Still remember.
I still say that every once in a while. Here, lizard, lizard, lizard.
Really?
I mean, all right, when we were in Florida and there were lizards in our freaking hotel room.
Yeah.
I was trying to find one in my head. I'm going, here, lizard, 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 lizard.
They're so cute.
But was that all right? So, all right, Jason, who was this insult dog? I don't remember.
It was Triumph, the insult dog. He was that little Muppet that just said all the meanest things on the Conan show.
Yeah.
Is that a theme? Now,
dude, that was one of the best series, in my opinion.
I'm gonna Google it.
Conan.
Google Triumph.
The
Pull
insult
up a clip. I don't know. But
I should have pulled a clip. That's what I should have done.
Jamar, since you joined us late, what was your favorite dog from the 90s that you remember? Dog character.
Wait, what?
What the fuck?
Spud McKenzie.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So apparently it was a trend in the 90s of having a dog as a spokesperson because we just rattled off like 10 different dogs. Like Jason said he felt like a dog, and then we rattled off like 10 different dog names, and they were all like main characters for something.
A Target had a dog too.
Still do. Spot.
Yeah.
Although it's no longer the one spot when you walk into Target because of.
But Spot was ripped off from Spuds McKenzie, though.
Was it?
Looks just like him.
I can't.
There were a lot of good commercials back in the day, like the "What's Up" commercial. What's up?
I remember the phone.
You know,
they spoofed it during Scream, didn't they?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That made, dude, I feel like there was a lot more crossover in advertising back then among the legacy brands than there is today.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be like their own thing.
Yeah.
But I would also argue, though, that we don't see that because everything gets so fractured and everyone's like in their own little niche on an algorithm. Pop culture is a lot less central than it was when the media was like, this is what's going to be popular.
You only had 3 channels. You had 3 or 4 channels even before cable. So that's all the marketing was directed there. You didn't see anything outside of that. So everybody saw the same thing. Now everybody's algorithm's different. Everybody's feed's different. Might not see the same thing. Hell, it happens in our chat sometimes. You guys are like, oh, this guy's awesome. I've been following him for 3 years. And I'm over here like, I have no idea who that is. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I wonder. Oh, I see. I just Googled Spuds McKenzie. Sorry, I'm over here in ADHDing. Yeah. Straight up friggin' the Target dog is a ripoff of Spuds.
Yeah. Absolutely. He retired to Target after his alcoholism. Better than a Walmart greeter.
Is it permanent black eye? Is that what that is? Is that what that is?
He was sitting on the chicks on the beach, remember? In the bikinis and stuff. So finally showed up to him.
Oh, that's too good.
Oh, that's literally all right. Hold on. Now that you said it, it's literally the top Google result is the women on the beach with the dog.
Yeah.
Your recall for old advertising is
he was a baby magnet.
Cheeto fingers. Cheeto fingers.
Cheeto fingers is him. He is Cheeto fingers.
That was my high school.
The first YouTube one, right? This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's 100%. That's like the same breed of spot and everything.
You know what's great about all of these commercials? They have nothing to do with what they're trying to sell, other than maybe some kind of crazy outcome.
Yeah, you didn't have to try as hard to find your audience back then because literally you were the only thing on.
Yeah,
it was just. But again, though,
what are you gonna do? Fast forward?
What?
You know?
Right.
I said, what are you gonna do? Fast forward?
That's true. We own you.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and I think that's the thing. Like with everything you see and the way that everything's just kind of like their own entity, and you don't have so much crossover. You don't have like these. Like I don't even think you would have a movie nowadays like Scream where you could pull from a bunch of random pop culture references. That was like a big thing in like the 90s, early 2000s. There's just like those mix and match parody movies where they influenced a lot of pop culture. You'd have like Carmen Electra in there doing dumb shit, Dennis Rodman showing up out of nowhere, you know what I mean? But now, because like everything is so customized and curated on an individual by individual basis, whether you're talking about just basic television or your social media content, you know what I mean? Everybody has control. So yeah, like outside of that, like if you're not in the know and you want to be in the know, you're just going to be completely oblivious to what's going on outside of that space. You know, like the CPA guy that I stumbled across one video and, oh shit, I've been following him for 3 years, you know?
Yeah.
What?
And he's not small either. He's got like hundreds of thousands of followers too.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me when I'm like,
it's absolutely wild, like how open the internet is, but how isolated at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know that sounds like all dark and morbid or something. At the same breath, like I think that's, you know, I think that should empower those who have maybe obscure interests. I mean, look at Tunnel Girl. I don't know if we talked about her on a podcast, but like
I don't think we have. This is the first appearance of Tunnel Girl.
Okay, so like, you know, for those who aren't aware, there was a person in Virginia who's been digging in her yard underneath her house, like on her own, like no permits, no experience, just said
free will.
I'm going to build a tunnel. You know what I mean? So, but like that exact thing is like you have these people who are just so like, you know, you have these obscure interests or these things are maybe outside of the norm of acceptability. Like you're gonna find your audience out there because there's little pockets of people or larger pockets of people that are just like all about that stuff. Right. So it should feel more empowering to like embrace those oddities that what some would see as oddities, you know what I mean? But you just really fucking enjoy it, you know? Yep.
Yeah, you could absolutely be the big fish in a small pond, and that's okay. Because you're like in a pond of all the other little people, little fish that are just like you, and you're like, I am the best nerd here.
Right.
Yeah. Find your clique online.
Yeah,
No.
dude, I forgot. Jason, is there any updates? Because she stopped making TikToks. I know she's like right in your backyard.
I haven't seen any updates, but
There haven't been any local Facebook community groups.
no, I actually looked because I wanted to go over there because she literally lives in my backyard, and I'm like, I got to find this house. I got to go over there and try to figure out and like take a look and whatever. But yeah, I haven't seen anything. But if my gut tells me something, and if history repeats itself, she's been caught before with stop orders.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is not the first time. She's done stuff in the past. She got denied on permits, and yet she does it anyway. Got a stop order, and then she ends up doing stuff anyway.
Oh, because she did
So
do a video where she talked about an addition she put on the back of her house using all reclaimed stuff, and she had old steps and random doors, and that was probably all the stuff. They're like, "No, you can't do that," and she just did it.
I think her first stop order was in 2012.
That's when she said she put this on around 2010. Around.
Yeah.
I think it's a shoot.
Like, what's a shoot?
I think what she's doing is a shoot. I don't think it's real.
You don't wait, so you don't think that the literal tunnel under her house exists, or like you thought it was set up?
I think the tunnel and all that exists. Is that under her house? Is that actually under her house, or is it?
She's done a tour through the house and going to the tunnel, so I'm assuming.
You got your tinfoil hats.
Is that tinfoil?
We're in tinfoil hats.
Who's wearing it? Who's wearing the hat? Me?
You
Mason?
are.
I don't know.
100%.
I don't know.
Did she start this? Did she start this well before she started filming TikTok content, or did she just decide as she started tunneling she was going to film it?
Yeah, she was filming. She was
TikTok.
filming like taking the first pieces of dirt out and how she had to build an elevator.
Wait,
I've been
let's go.
watching her for a while.
I've been watching it before she even had the cart, and when she was still putting everything through on buckets. Like,
yep, on buckets.
No, she didn't have buckets. She just put it off to the side in her basement. She's like, I'll figure it out when it gets to be a problem. And she had this mound of dirt in her basement.
I yet again have no idea what you're talking about.
Like, you just go into your basement and then just cut a hole in the wall.
it made amazing content.
I have a crawl space.
Oh yeah.
Whether it was right, wrong, whether it's a conspiracy theory or not, it made really freaking good content.
Well, it was so many different niches because she also is like a crazy antiquer too. She just randomly goes out and like bought like an antique dresser one day. She's like, "Oh yeah, I just felt like getting a dresser." And then there was like paranormal content too because she has that haunted bedroom in that house, and that was just random.
She's the epitome of like quirky. Like some of the stuff that she says and does is fascinating because she seems somewhat normal when she's talking, and then but her actions don't say the same.
So here is I actually, Scott, you asked what she does. So what I actually did was I went back and binged one day, and I was like, I need to see how this started. She is a cybersecurity IT manager. Because in one of the early videos, she moves her setup out of the way and covers it with plastic to cut the hole in the wall. And the setup was massive. And I was like, all right. And then like 4 videos in, somebody's like, how much have you spent? She's like, oh, I'm into this $20,000 already. And she was like a foot past. And I was like, holy shit. She's like, this is going to be horrendously expensive and I'll see 0 return on my investment. Like she said that straight up. She's like, I'm just doing this because.
Yeah.
But
I know this is steering back a little bit, and I know you're kind of Rain Man, Dom, and this might even be something if Reagan can still hear us that she'll be able to remember.
We're playing
but let's talk about the Got Milk campaign.
Oh God.
From back in the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think that was one of the most brilliant marketing moves was the Got Milk campaign, because milk had, I think, dropped down by like 20%, and they hired this one marketing guy and they're like, hey, we got to figure out a way
we got to
sell milk consumption up. How can we sell this? And then they started that Got Milk campaign, and how they marketed it around like the best breakfast and the best this, and how it's like the perfect breakfast. I think that's a good start.
Fun fact: do you know that the milk mustaches that were on all those campaigns wasn't actual milk? because it didn't show up on camera. Right. It was cream cheese. They melted cream cheese, and it was like this, like real thick. Yeah, it's cream cheese and watered down, so it would look good on camera. It's kind of nasty, but the things we do to get the shot.
Yeah,
I mean, for photography, in the photography world, to create ice cream, if you were trying to make a shoot ice cream, but obviously ice cream melts.
Yeah,
it was just what's it called? Frosting and lots of powdered sugar. And you mix that and blend that, and it looks just like ice cream.
That's good to know.
Random thought based upon that little trail we're headed down. When I was working in restaurants, because I worked in restaurants for like a large portion of my younger years, they used to put they have the little tray of like display desserts. You wouldn't actually pull one off there, but they would be display. I thought always up to that point, I was like, oh, it's, there's just like ice cream. How does it hold? Until I started working in restaurants and I saw what they did. They would actually use margarine, like stuff that you could keep at room temperature, scoop it out with an ice cream scoop, and it looks just like vanilla bean ice cream. Like it has that yellowish tint to it. Everything was like, it's absolutely nuts. Like what they actually use to like mimic stuff like sour cream and all kinds of crazy stuff. Half the stuff you see in commercials isn't really the food that you're buying. Yeah.
No.
Not even close. There's like little drops of glue to like simulate like water and like all the bread's plastic, and Ian said it's spray foam. But like that's also during, I feel like that type of advertising is still only in like legacy media, because we're now all savvy to it. Like back 80s, 90s, I don't think anyone except people that were like in the know knew that. I think now you have to be like raw based. Like this is really what you're actually going to get, because today's consumer is so hyper savvy versus how come my Wendy's hamburger doesn't look like it when it's in the box? Because it never had a chance.
You sure about that? You sure they're savvy?
I like to think they are. I know there's corners of the internet, and we're probably going to bring it up tonight, that there is not savvy consumers. We were talking about negativity pre-show again. So, well,
I'd say that the vast majority is not like super savvy. I think there's always going to be different levels, but I think what I can kind of agree with what Dom was saying. Like more people are just kind of aware, like that kind of advertising type feel. Like it's what they're saying is not really what's happening behind the scenes. I was actually talking about this in our Triple C's group earlier this week when somebody's asking about like, what do I think for like content as we move into 2024? And that was the exact topic that I brought up, was that more people are being hyper aware because we're seeing it every day. Like all this stuff. Not now, again, just like we stated earlier, there's always going to be this pockets of TikTok. So like you might be on like crazy Asian food TikTok, and then you stumble across something on Make Money Online, and you're like, oh, I didn't know this existed. But for the vast majority, like I still think that more people are aware, like, okay, this seems like it's too good to be true, so I'm not going to give it I'm not really going to give it its time of day. And again, I think that's also why a lot of these like fly by night things, like we were talking about pre-show, come, go, and leave a lot of people in the burned ashes.
Yeah, like you couldn't. I just bring up like even in-person sales. You couldn't put on a transatlantic accent and start talking about your product and making offers. Like people would know. Just dude, shut the F up. But like back then, you probably could. Right? Like, think like 80s car salesmen yelling in the lot on the used car commercials. And you couldn't do, like, I remember when I was on the floor, no one did that. They're like, tell me about this car. Like, well, what do you want to fucking know? Like, I don't have a predetermined spiel of like, that's going to sell you. But you're absolutely right. I mean, fuck it. We'll say it. I don't care. Transact card. They don't have cards yet. I don't even care. We're just go there. Talk their pre-show.
That's the best dumpster fire to watch from afar. Yeah. It is.
They don't even have cards yet.
Dude, they don't have so much, and it's big old rope-a-dope, and you see all the new people saying the same stuff. Like when you say savvy and people know better, go in the group it's like they have never in their entire lives heard about a pyramid scheme, a Ponzi scheme, an MLM. It's like it's completely foreign because they are diehards. They're like, this is revolutionary. It's like, dude, go back and watch the last 15 years of Ron Popeil or people, doing this stuff at the Holiday Inn room selling you Monet or a Sia Berry, whatever. It's not new. And these people are like, we're going to change the world. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, well, I mean, that has to, all right. So let's go into that though, right? Because that's literally a case of people buying into a movement with no product. Because there's literally no product.
Right.
It's coming.
Yeah.
And what did you say? Somebody asked where it was and they go, don't bring that negativity in here.
Yeah, don't bring the negativity.
Like, that would be like us selling a course or selling a software and not giving someone their login. And someone goes, hey, I didn't get my login. You don't bring that.
A lot of money.
Don't be negative.
A lot of money's poured into that, I'm sure, already. Like millions of dollars is probably already poured in.
How else would you be able to get imaginary Z-Bucks every week? They're like, you get 500 Z-Bucks. Where are you getting it from? It's pooping out of the green sky, you fucking idiots. Sorry. I mean, it's like nobody stops to go, how are they giving us this free imaginary Monopoly money?
Yeah, but like, if they don't have cards, how are they spending it?
They get Z-Bucks and they go to the Z store and they buy they get tumblers on flash sale because
oh my God, these people are gonna get double taxed too.
Dude, no shit. But it's the old Roosevelt. It's like they don't understand. That's the ultimate dopamine hit. This has been done over and over again. They do flash sales and everyone's like, flash sale, everybody, and everybody runs in there and they're like, I got my golf balls. Really? You got golf balls? And they're, I missed this one. And they make you spend this imaginary money to read.
It's like getting free play at the casino.
Yeah. So awesome.
Basically, yeah. You hit the free play, you'll get another one. But that's also too why I try whenever I go in and I try to teach marketing or business or something. And part of the reasons why I like Alex Hormozy a whole lot too is you got to teach frameworks, because there are people who have been involved in that, who have been involved in other things, and they know that they've gotten burned by other things, but they just take every single thing at face value and don't step back and go, what is the framework? What's going? How am I being sold? What's happening? How does this fit in the bigger picture?
See, that you nail it right there, Dom. The framework that you're talking about, the CEO and the top leaders, if you watch any of it, you're watching an Amway presentation. You're watching all of this stuff. I mean, every buzzword, everything that you have ever heard in those groups, these top leaders are saying it. And yet, back to what you said about their savvy nowadays, these people are funneling in here and you're like, dude, you do realize what he's saying, right? It's a big old scam. But so
yeah, I mean, that should be, I mean, again, and that's, I think that's my struggle too, is it's funny. I want to sell people, but I also want to like show people how to spot the sale from a mile away. It's such a spot the sale, but like, just know you're being sold, know how it all works.
Right. Let's talk about that trying Facebook post that I posted this week about school.
Oh, yeah.
How many times do I say that there are so many marketers that wouldn't know marketing if it punched them in the teeth, right? Like, and I just mean that fact of the matter. Like, that's exactly what that post is people are jumping into this hype like it's going to be the thing that makes them $10,000 a month without understanding what goes into an actual community to make them stay engaged and why school is a good tool to use, right? And so it's just it's so frustrating to just be like, look, guys, understand the framework and you'll get so much further than if you just try to find these magical buttons.
Yeah.
You understand how to use a tool, the brand doesn't matter.
Right.
Waiting for Jason to make a Milwaukee comment.
I don't want to make everybody jealous in here.
Yeah, I want you to take the bait.
They make the best beer, the best power tools. That's a slogan.
Wait, Milwaukee, the city. That was a good one.
Milwaukee's best. Remember?
It is the best beer ever made. Yeah. They claim it. That's a truth in marketing statement.
Yeah.
When you want more than one.
Even if you're only having one, it is the best. That is an absolute statement on the can.
Kyle.
But yeah, that's I mean, again, learn the framework, because what the whole school thing too is that like school's not new.
No.
They've been around for years.
Yep.
But what happened is big influencer, big thought leader announces, creates a whole bunch of noise, and everybody goes running for it.
Yep.
And it's going to be interesting to see who takes the anti stance. Because I don't know. I don't want to take the anti Alex stance, but at the same time, I want to put people on my school competitor.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. And we already have the school competitor with everything else built into it. School only has its thing. It's almost a one-trick pony, right?
Yeah.
Unless when he comes in and they invest and they make it something other than it is now, it's just a group with gamification that's outside of Facebook. And that's the draw for a lot of people because they hate Zuck.
Yeah, it's rough. Dad, you looked like you were going to say something.
Yeah, there was actually a few things I was actually going to say about all this, because at the end of the day, like, school is not a bad platform. It is a very user-friendly platform. It is very good for keeping up with people. But what I love, and like, it's like the whole shtick, like, I remember after $100 million leads or 100 million leads, everybody was like, "Oh, I'm giving away everything for free, man. I'm going to be just like Alex. I'm going to give away for free."
Yeah.
You know, but like, again, the frameworks understand what's happening. Like, he made one post talking about investment that he does as a business person, and then everybody ran to that platform.
Yeah.
Who do you think benefited? The dude who just invested a bunch of fucking money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you say he's doing it all for free, like, it's all he has to do is make a post talking, like wearing a fucking hat saying, "I just invested in school," and these Hormozy fuckboys are going to be like, "Fuck yeah, hey, I'm fucking school." Like, I literally saw 3 different like marketers who basically like have ghosted their communities on Facebook come out of nowhere and be like, "Oh, Alex Hormozy just invested in school. I'm moving this community over there." Like, well, you didn't really have a community in the first place. I haven't seen you post in here in probably fucking 6 months. Yep. So like, how is that even a community? You know, I think that's the biggest thing. That's the anti-Alex stance. It's like, it's not the platform that makes the community. It's how you build it that makes it worthwhile and turns it into an asset, regardless of where you're at. You know, you can build a Facebook group with 500 to 1,000 members and absolutely crush. You know what I mean? You can do it on school. You can do it on Discord. You can do it, you know, when Go High Level gets their communities and like really nails down their stuff, you can do it there. You know what I mean? There's so many options. It's just that like somebody with a lot of influence that everybody's like, "Oh, fuck yeah, Alex Hormozy." Oh, you know what I mean? They all run and jump on the bandwagon that he's talking about, just like they did after 100 million leads and saying, "Oh, I'm going to give away everything." Well, that didn't really last that long.
No, it didn't at all.
Yeah.
Jamar, you were like chomping at the bit.
He talks a lot about leverage. He talks a lot about leverage all the time. If you watch his YouTube videos of him on stage doing all these speaking engagements, he talks about how important leverage is to him, right? And like, he doesn't do anything by accident. The whole investing and then, you know, doing the post and everything, he knew, because he's got so much leverage now and so much influence, that he's going to draw people in, you know, just off of like, he made like one post, but it was kind of duplicated all across the social medias. And I think, Dom, by the time I had seen it, you had already seen it like 7 hours earlier. Right. So it's just one of those things where he just peppered it all across his social media platforms, but he has so much leverage. Like, Dom, you talked about frameworks. Like, Alex he's the king of simplifying everything and just making everything about a framework. And all of his frameworks are designed to give him leverage, period.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, and his frameworks are universal because everything is universal. At some point he dropped another podcast, which actually I thought was kind of cool. His latest podcast episode is, remember when he did $100 million leads? He took the top 5 people and spent, I guess, was like 20 minutes or 30 minutes with all of them. He mashed them all into a podcast episode. And did them all. So it was basically just a rapid fire Q&A for an hour and a half, and it was spectacular. And he talks about meta skills versus skills. And like, high level skill is like copywriting, running Facebook ads is like a high level. He's like, that's a skill. high level, high leverage skill. He's like, but you can't do that unless you have lower level meta skills. Like the lowest level meta skill is like learn how to learn. And then something to be like, all right, you know how to learn. Then you need to learn how to research, because then you can go ahead and you can go find the answer to something. Or like us in our world, meta skills, make a video, learn how to make a freaking video. And then you're going to be like, all right, you can apply that everywhere else. And I was like, that taught me how to teach. And I was like, all right, so we teach the meta skill. And I've been trying to do that, because I'm always like, how can I give somebody something that they can apply anywhere? And it's been like my whole freaking philosophy. But now just hearing it like that, be like, got it. Because people go, how do I learn this big complex thing? And I try to break it down. Like, oh, well, you have to know this. And it's like a whole other tangent. It's a whole other course of like, you need this first. And somebody from zero and then to somebody going, I'm making $100,000 a month. And it's like, well, there's 75 ways to get there. 75 steps that you missed, that you're not going to get there. I don't care what they told you. It's only been 3 weeks. Did I put everybody deep in thought?
I mean, yeah, it was kind of like, it wasn't like an epiphany moment or anything, but it was like, I love the way that got broke down. And I mean, because I've always kind of explained it as like everything breaks down to macro. Like everything is macro. Everything you want to get to, there's macro steps. You want to lose weight? Okay, well, you got to eat right, potentially get it more active, take better care of yourself, supplements. Those are like some of the macro steps. And then everything else below that is like what you're talking about with those meta skills. Like you got to like, there's layers to everything that we do, and knowing the pieces, just like we mentioned earlier with like frameworks and everything else, like being able to see what people are doing and not be so engulfed in just what they're telling you is going on is like, I think is something that more people need to pay attention to, understand the pieces in play. It's like somebody sitting down and all they've done is play checkers their entire life. And then they sit down at a chessboard and they try to like, play and be good at it, but they have no idea how anything moves. You know what I mean? Like you have to learn how everything moves, interchanges, and how you can, lack of better term, transfer those skills into other areas, because everything is universal. There's not a single thing, with the exception of like those, like you said, high level skills. Like not everybody's going to be a great copywriter. You know what I mean? You can be pretty good, but not everybody's going to be great. You know what I mean? You can understand what it is, but you may not reach that level. But at the same time, like everything else that we do, all these little pieces are so interchangeable, intermovable, that once you understand how they move, that's when like the real fun and creativity, that's when you don't really run out of things to do. And you can create frameworks that provide you leverage. And honestly, if you're creating a framework, it should be providing you some leverage beyond that single thing you're creating. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, now I'm deep in thought. I love when these monologues. Oh, go ahead.
We could even like simplify it for anybody listening that doesn't have a clue what they just meant. Skills pay bills, right? And if you learn those skills, that's how you're going to leverage that to connect with other people, get in the room with the right people to take the next step in your business. And that's ultimately your leverage, is building that brand and that skill set. Dom refers to this as, would you take at your company a video of Alex Hormozi, or would you take it of your mentor telling you here's how I made $90,000 this month, and here's exactly how you're going to do it too? Would you take that to somebody that is a global company, or would you take a thought leaders type of voice, right? So ultimately you have to put yourself in the position to learn something and get outside of your comfort zone, because it is what's going to open the door to like help you understand what it means to have a sustainable business for yourself.
Yep. And even your business, once you have the skill, you don't have to, you can apply it for yourself, but if you have an idea, understanding of how it works and how to do it, and you could do it even just a basic level, you could become the technician and sell it as a service. It's not like, oh, I know how to run a newsletter, but I don't know what to run a newsletter about because I'm into 47 different things. I don't even know what I'm at. Right. I don't even know. But versus we had somebody in our group who was like, I've got someone now that wants a quote for me to run their newsletter. Like, you have a basic understanding on how it is. You can do it at even if you're doing it at a low level, you're better than 90% of other people. And now they're going to probably start doing up someone else's newsletter. And then what's going to happen? Someone else is going to come by. Hey, can you do mine too? Okay. And then all of a sudden now you don't have a newsletter of your own, but now you have a little newsletter agency because you understand how it works and you can do it for other people. That was something that I think that I had missed because you can never really miss the boat, but that's something I may have started doing years ago had I known selling as a service-based business. I was always trying to sell my own stuff.
Yeah.
Versus doing services for other people. But I think that might be a hack for newer people in the game who like understand how it works and they understand how to do it. Go sell it as a service for somebody.
I think what's really cool too is if you're leveraging this same concept, even in the world of careers and development stuff, because of the power of AI, once you learn that basic skill set, you can use things like, custom GPTs to be your assistant in that capacity. And you're selling a service that you're not even doing anything on. You just have to learn that base foundation to what it means to be good at that, right? Like it's not, you could get really creative and reverse engineer it, but what's going to set you apart and what's going to make AI like not take your job, if you will, is learning how to leverage this to then go make more money and get the things that they're paying the big dollars for, because there are people that don't want to waste their time to learn this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Learn how to use the tool. When they were digging ditches, when the skid steer was invented, the skid steer didn't take, it put the guys with the shovels, most of them out of a job. But if the guy who learned how to run the skid steer still had a job that probably paid better. Jason, you'll probably talk more to that, but I'm sure simple analogies close enough.
Yeah. Every single tool ever was always designed to minimize labor and execute more, getting things done. And that's always been the case. But I think that kind of brings up another point. Like I remember growing up in the 80s, early 90s, and like the thought of smartphones and the thought of the computer and making things so much easier. Everybody's head, it was going to be this revolutionary thing that was going to allow you to have more time to yourself. And it did allow you to have more time, but that time always got filled with now more work. It just meant you got more time, but now you get to do more work, because what used to take you 8 hours now takes you 20 minutes, but now you get to do it over and over again for 8 more hours.
Yeah.
So as things progress, yes, we get more done and we become more efficient, but it doesn't make you stop. It doesn't give you more time. Like the blue collar guys back in the day that would work 60+ hour weeks, they can get way more done today, but they're still working 60-hour weeks.
Yeah, exactly. I think also too, again, I think that just goes from somebody wanting to get an edge on competition, right? Because I liken this to like Black Friday, right? We look at Black Friday. You used to only see a doorbuster deal was 7 a.m. Like that was 7 a.m. was like doorbuster. I remember the earliest I remember, like early 90s. Then all of a sudden it was 3 a.m. doorbusters. And then it became, we're open midnight on Thanksgiving. And then all of a sudden it was like, we're open at 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving. And then it's like, they were always moving it open. And then it became pre-Black Friday deals. So I think what happened, again, it will probably happen. And I say there's a regional manager for like Best Buy was driving around doing the route on Thanksgiving going home. And they probably saw a line outside of their local Best Buy on Thanksgiving night. And they're like, well, what if we just open the doors now?
Yeah.
And then they did it. And then the local manager at Target was like, oh, well, they're already going to Best Buy at midnight. Oh, shit, we don't open until 5. Next year, we're going to open at midnight too.
Yep.
And then that's how the creep. So like Jason, like to your point, the guy has the technology. He can only do 6 jobs in a week. Oh, I got this new tool. I could do 8. And then all the other guys are going, well, I could do 6 and go home and have an extra couple hours, but then he's doing 8. So I have to do 8.
Yep.
And that almost became freaking college too. Like it used to be, I go to college. And then, now everybody went to college. Then it was like, well, if everyone's going to college, I now have to do a little bit of extracurriculars. And then now everyone's got to do tons of extracurriculars. And the bar just keeps raising. And I think right now what we're seeing is a level of burnout because it's becoming too much. Like you can you're going to hit a point where you can't get ahead any more than the person, right?
Right.
Mhm.
The thought of going to school and doing one sport or one club, look at like that's
The value of a college degree is not the same today as it was 20 or 30 years ago, but it costs 3 times as much, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's almost like you're better off. I think we talked about this before. Like, you're better off just like learning a skill or like in a trade or something and starting your own business. You're better off doing that because you're going to get a lot farther ahead with a lot less debt. And you're just not competing against everyone's competing for the same college degrees. Whereas like the blue collar trades are hurting right now for skilled workers. They're like, they have more business than they know what to do with, which is why, you know, the digital marketing stuff is kind of a toss up and how you can improve their efficiency, right, in doing their jobs, because there's plenty of work, there's plenty of money to make. The businesses are doing really, really, really well. My next door neighbor is an electrician. He literally could work 100 hours a week if he wanted to, but he doesn't because that's just stupid. He's got a family and, you know, in a real life. But to me, it really comes down to understanding what your own value is to a marketplace in terms of like, do you have a skill in a vertical that is highly desirable, but doesn't require, you know, it maybe 10, 20 years ago, it required you to go to school for 4, 6 years. But today you can learn something online and take that skill set, whether it may be coding or like, it doesn't have to be marketing. It could be whatever. You could learn how to code through YouTube and then just apply to a startup, get a couple of years of experience, you know, helping a startup grow, build your resume. And the next thing you know, you're making, you know, $275,000 a year at X, Y, and Z software coding. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to have the degree to be able today, not like you did 20 years ago. The degree today is it's not worth nothing. You're going to pay $100K plus for. I don't know how much Penn State is. It doesn't sound cheap to go to Penn State.
Not cheap. It's like 35 grand a year out of state, or at least it was. I don't know what it is this year.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: Penn State, in-state, out-of-state was an astronomical difference. I remember having the conversation being with one of my roommates who grew up in Pennsylvania. I think me living in New Jersey, I think it was like 32 or 30. It was $30,000 a year, right? Which I thought was a bargain because private schools in 2006, 2010 were 50 grand a year. So state school at 30 was great. And then I go to my buddy. He's like, dude, it's like $6,500 a year for in-state tuition. I was like,
yeah,
you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
It was by a factor of 5.
Yeah.
I don't know if all states are that way.
Pretty much.
I know Rutgers out of state, in-state was pretty close. But Pennsylvania was like freaking, you got gouged if you were out of state.
Yeah.
But
a lot of them are like that. Yeah.
But going on to Jamar, learning your skill. If you have a skill and you see an opportunity, don't freaking wait. Just go strike when the iron's hot. Because it's funny. We had the person that put cookies in the title. We had the Girl Scout parent cookie meeting tonight, where kind of like they laid the ground rules and like this is what happened and try to be compliant. And I asked the leader, and I was like, so we can't the social media. And I was like licking my chops. I'm like, this is like what I do. And my daughter, she set her goal of 600 boxes of cookies. And I was like, girl, we are not going to get 600 boxes from just word of mouth and aunts and uncles. So I was asking, and I was like, well, can we run, like, can you advertise? She's like, well, yeah, you can put a link on your Facebook profile, and like but you can't put your link in Facebook groups. She's like, you could advertise where the booth is going to be, but you can't put your girl's personal link. And I was like, well, can I run a geo-targeted ad? She's like,
I'm like, no, I meant TikTok ads.
Well, no, well, I'm like, I could. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, I can take, if I know where a booth is going to be, I can geo-target that within a 2-mile radius and run $10, and I could probably fill the booth. And she's like, if you think you can do that, I don't think you can do that. And I was like, oh, this is on. Like, this is, dude, Girl Scout cookie Facebook ads are going to be so cheap.
Yeah.
And I was like, can we do a Facebook list? I'm like, can I add a bonus if someone buys an X amount of boxes, like a digital workbook or something? And she's like, if you think you can do that, yeah, I don't know. Like, this is completely foreign. Yeah. So like someone might want to buy 3. And what's funny,
She runs a Girl Scout den, Dom. What do you think?
Here's the thing. One of the other moms in the group was like, "Oh, I was thinking about that." She's like, "I found a wine pairing list," and I'm like, "If someone buys 5 or more or 7 or more boxes, we'll give them the wine pairing that goes with the cookies." And I was like, "Yes." I was like, "We're gonna do this because someone's gonna be on the fence with 3 or 4 boxes." Yep. We go, but if you buy 2 more, you get this.
The stay-at-home mom drinking that Pinot and sucking down those mint bins. Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, I was like, can we collect emails? She's like, you can email people. I was like, no, but can we collect them? Yeah. So guess what? Mifke Lead Magnet is going to be, here's where we're going to be, all of our troops from here. Because they have all the booths. They have a schedule out. I'm like, get the schedule. Know where they're going to be. Get there first. Give me your email. And then they're going to get blasted every week.
Or you need to have 2 different things. Even like they're at the booth, like give them this little card that they can scan to get that little free thing with an opt-in page, so you can sell to them next year and the year after that and stuff too.
Oh, dude, there will be a high-level
not just people to get not just people who want to buy 8 boxes.
Yeah, there's going to be someone that balls out and goes here, and you know what's funny? Someone's like, "Oh yeah, I put a QR code on my card. I got some stuff." And I was learning this is that the Girl Scouts.
You need to geolocate college students too, because they might not be knowing about Girl Scout cookies. They might not have relatives, but at 3 a.m. they want some munchies with some Girl Scout cookies.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. I'm like, this is. I'm sure it's going to be cheap to run ads this year, but if this works, I'm not going to be the only one running ads next year. Like that window is going to close.
I can see the offer now.
Thad, what do you got?
Well, you might be right. I don't think you'll be the only one, but again, this is something that you could wind up leveraging, growing that list, maybe even selling that type of framework to other Girl Scout troops around the country. Maybe they grow a massive list. You get a small percentage, of the, maybe it's like, oh, I get 10 cents per lead, whatever it might be,
You need
Again,
to get yourself
there's so many different things. Again, when you know the pieces, then you can start really getting creative, because then that list becomes an asset, both to the Girl Scout of America, or whatever the hell they're called, and also the neighborhood and people. Oh, you want access to my list? Oh, I'll give you access this year, and you can run, you can blast for your troop, through my list, and for, I don't know, $150, easy money.
I've got a list of 100 hyper competitive parents.
Yeah.
You need to get the list from like a head shop and be like, hey, we're doing this for the Girl Scouts. Can we send out an email blast to everybody that would come to the head shop?
Yeah.
They all want cookies.
100%. Just throw a sticker on some light poles near a parking lot. Like, you will absolutely get a hit.
You should order some extra boxes for sure.
I mean, we basically, what's the 17th? I can't say. We have 60 boxes spoken for, but if any Girl Scout officials are watching, we've not accepted money yet. So, but there's 60 boxes so far already pre-sold. And I got a Facebook post right now where people are starting to raise their hands. So but it was fun. They were just like, yeah, if you want to do all that, go ahead. And I was like,
I mean, this is a
you
really
can also
cool...
teach them to be the best content creators on how to get leads for their stuff.
For the troop. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna sit with Lizzie and we're gonna write a VSL, and we're gonna write a VSL, put it on a page. It's gonna be, because you have to, because the goal is not just to sell cookies and win, right? You have to actually teach your daughter like the entrepreneurial marketing sales skill. And that's what's gonna happen.
So Dom, your troop doesn't have that on their website? Because mine does. My girls
doesn't have what?
The VSL.
Yeah, they do, but it's not personalized. It's a boilerplate VSL.
They can personalize it though, or they can do the animated one.
Scotty, that is the same as getting the share funnel and changing your picture. I think so. Come on, dude.
Dom, I can tell though you put a lot of thought.
The daily pay funnel and putting your name on it.
You put a lot of thought into this, Dom.
Daily pay funnel.
What'd you say, Stamar?
You've already put a lot of thought into this. I can tell. Like you're waist deep.
I'm neck deep, man. This has been like, when I heard she joined Girl Scouts, I'm like, dude, we're gonna fucking crush cookie season. I was like, now that we have the power of the internet, and I'm like, this is what I do, building lists. I was like, this is like the Super Bowl.
That's fantastic.
Like there's parents who were like, they're like hyper competitive at sports and they're trying to relive. Like, I'm like, no, this is something like she can actually do and a skill that she can take with her for life.
Yeah, this is fun. This is fun. It's like Monopoly, playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
You could just give away a free Girl Scout newsletter.
Yeah, all the happenings in the troop. Yeah, this is where
Quarterly
your
newsletter.
cookie money went. Yeah.
What's great is the fundamentals, like we were talking about earlier, just like when you really talk about just basic marketing frameworks can be applied to anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. I see a Digital Cookie. Yeah. So Digital Cookie is the Girl Scout website, like sales funnel fulfillment software. But here's the thing though, right? And this is actually perfect for affiliate marketing, right? Because as an affiliate, like I could go use my Digital Cookie affiliate link, which is essentially what it is, so that Lizzie gets her stuff tracked to her. But I don't own any of the traffic I send to Digital Cookie.
Right.
Like none. Like I just, so go here, here's my link, click it. There's no way of, if they don't buy, I never see them again. Versus get a list of all the locations and all the booths where we're going to be, email, and then I send them an email with a link that goes, oh, now go buy the Digital Cookie.
Yep.
And then something I didn't know. I always thought like they only came out once a year. It's literally only once a year that they come out, from January to March.
Your list would compound year over year, just like any kind of affiliate marketing or anything. Like, you don't start from scratch every time the cookies get released. You start from, maybe you get 500 leads the first year, and then it's 2,000 the next year, and it's 5,000. And then at that point, because you can do some word of mouth and things like that, you could even run a referral contest and say, hey, I don't know if that's legal, but like,
oh, it is.
You could get the people who purchase, and then say, hey, if you can refer, 10 boxes of cookies to your family and friends, then we'll send you whatever. We'll send you an ebook. We'll send you this. We'll send, right. There's like, there's ways of like the gamification of this is like any kind of like marketing.
Jamar,
any kind of marketing plan. Like you would want more people to learn about what you're doing.
Jamar, the only rule, like I asked, well, like the social media compliance, because like I don't want to go completely run a ragged, but like the only social media rule is you cannot post your daughter's link in a public forum. You can put it all over your personal page. You can email it to people, but you can't put it in like a neighborhood Facebook group. That's the only rule. Everything else is a fair, like referral programs, fair game.
Oh, it's on.
Dude, you could do a box giveaway.
Yeah.
Because the way it works is that basically you buy the boxes up front and then you sell them. And they're like, if you have boxes left over at the end, they're like, you're going to have to pay the $5 a piece for them. Like, but if you want to sell them the rest of the year, you can. And I'm like, how much does an out of season box of Girl Scout cookies go for? Like, imagine you had a couple dozen boxes in August and it's like, yo, $10.
Yeah.
For normally $5.
I would be your perfect audience to find that out.
Would you pay a premium? Because right now, supply and demand is absolutely in the buyer's favor. Everyone's pushing these cookies.
Now, are they allowed to sell them on like Amazon?
No, it has to be sold direct. So you can't sell them on like Craigslist. You can't sell them on like OfferUp, like any like market. You can't list them on a marketplace site. Sorry, there's two rules on social media.
I guess TikTok Shop is out.
Yeah. It would crush. It would absolutely crush on TikTok Shop. Figures 3 a.m. Fuck yeah, let me get 15 boxes of Thin Mints.
I mean, next year, again, with the list for next year, there's going to be a pre-sale. There's going to be a hand raiser. Yep. I'll be like, tell me what you want so I can pre-order them. You can't give me money yet, but like, there's going to be, next year's going to be wild. Yeah. Thin Mints are going to be going for $13.90 on Amazon. Yeah. It'll be, dude, people would pay a premium because if you're the only one with boxes in August and September, and it's like, damn, I really wish I had Girl Scout cookies. Here they are.
Yeah. I have to hide the Thin Mint sleeves in my house.
I don't like.
I hide mine in the freezer.
Yep.
I like the
freezer in the
caramel
back.
delights. Those are the ones I like. With the shaved coconut on them. The caramel delights or the Samoas.
Oh, the Samoas, yeah.
Yeah. Those ones.
Yeah,
are
see,
bomb.
Thin Mints are going for $13.90 on Amazon. I knew somebody would sell them on Amazon.
Oh, it's a current price on Amazon. I mean, that might be the Girl Scouts themselves selling direct. I know I can't open an Amazon store and put that was explicitly said. We cannot list our links in public places. But yeah, I mean that would make sense. Or someone's just breaking the rules and saying YOLO.
That'd be fun if you had some like high ticket offer. Like you just made a post about my minimum offer is going to, or you're going to build like website or something for somebody for $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
As part of this, you're going to get mailed a Girl Scout care package, and part of your investment is also helping support this troop.
Yeah, would be. There's again all now. This is where something Alex talks about. He's like, this is where the anxiety. He's like, anxiety is lack of direction. You don't know what to do because there's so many possibilities. He's like, sadness is you don't know what to do. Versus there's so much where there's lack of information. The other one's lack of decision. Yeah, because now we're all just throwing shit throw it against the wall. I can do this, I can do that.
Yeah, now there's going to be a huge debate. You're going to split everybody right down the center, and you're going to get people that are like, that's genius. And then you're going to get the old heads that are like, that's cheating.
100%. 100%.
Back in my day, we stood outside the Walmart and did that with his fold-up tent.
Well, here's the thing, dude. It's freaking. There's like turf wars on these cookies. Yeah. So there was another explicit, like your troop. They have their own territory, and you cannot sell. You cannot set up a booth outside of your territory. And that was explicitly. I'm like, this is like a gang war, like selling on the wrong corner. Like,
exactly. What are you doing here?
But then I was like, well, what about digitally? So I was, Julie shut me down on this one, but I was like, why can't I just geo-target the other booth with a better offer with a Facebook ad? They
don't even need to know it's you doing it, right?
Well, the link, it's the internet, so everything's
they won't catch on. By the time
the
dust settles, the cookie drive will be over. They'll be licking their wounds, be trying to figure out what happened. Where did the attack come from? They won't know.
There's some cyberspace, but then I get all the pixel data, and I could just retarget them every time.
Can you imagine if you did have a mob around the booth, and then everybody that's coming around is like, I have to see what this mob is about. I got to be a part.
Dude, yeah. Well, that's the other thing. People would come through. Yeah. I don't know. A part of me wants to throw 10 or 20 bucks at it and see if I can put a mob around a booth again for that reason. So then it organically would take over. Like the crowdonomics, like, what is this? Oh, it's fucking cookies, of course.
Yeah.
And there's like everything that we do. I'm like, this is 100% applicable.
Yeah.
And we'll see. And again, I have to make sure that I can't do this for me. I have to do it and teach my daughter skills. They mess with the wrong troop. I mean, it's wild. Someone's like, we got in trouble. We got like one of the older moms at our troop, because we're a relatively new troop, and there's like a lot of like first-time parents that are there. Someone said there was a fist fight last year for selling in the wrong spot.
Oh my God.
I was like, come on. This is not like you're grown adults. It's fucking cookies. But it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll next show I'll update you guys and let you know how it's going with. And we'll go from there.
Dom's gonna come back with a black eye.
Those Girl Scout mobs don't play.
No, they don't.
I tried to run an ad in front of the stay-at-home moms, and here's what happened.
Dude, that would be the greatest look of all time. Like, get some makeup to make it look like you got a black eye. And having like your hook, like, yo, these Girl Scout moms don't play.
Nope. And on that note, guys, we really need an outro. Hey, thanks for listening. If you like this episode, please leave us a review, or better yet, take a screenshot on your phone, post it to social media, and tag us, Digital Marketing Misfits, or just use the hashtag Digital Marketing Misfits. And for extra bonus content you can't get